Hey YouTube, it's True Outlaw Patriot here again, coming up with some news. Seems like some shit just hit the fan. Seems like today at the White House they're ordering the Selective Reserve and certain members of the Individual Ready Reserve of the Armed Forces to active duty overseas. You know, it's funny, when Trump was president and running for president, I should say, Hillary Clinton and everybody was saying that he was in cahoots with Ukraine, with Ukrainian hackers that were trying to help him steal the election. And yet they vilified this man when he wanted to keep his nose out of the business that was going on between Ukraine and Russia. Here comes Joe Biden, good old baby sniffing Joe. And all of a sudden, he wants to do business with Ukraine, saying that we got to help Ukraine with what's going on between them and Russia, sending them over $100 billion. Makes you wonder who's in cahoots with who now. And not long ago, Joe Biden said that no American troops, no boots would step foot over there. It's ironic and it's funny how things turn out. When Obama was president, it was nothing but war after war after war. Trump comes in, all he wants is world peace. They vilify the man. He even predicted that if we stuck our nose with what's going on in between Ukraine and Russia, that it wouldn't be good at all. He wanted to just keep peace with them and make business deals and do whatever he had to do to keep the peace. Enter this administration, and we've got all kinds of chaos going on. Not to mention the way he had Zelensky come to Washington, go in front of the Capitol, or I should say inside the Capitol, in front of Congress, and talk about how they need help, even to the point where Zelensky was out there putting out commercials or whatever the hell is, saying that it's imperative that American soldiers fight for Ukraine. You know, America has stuck their nose in helping a lot of countries only to get the shit under the stick later on from a lot of people around the world that still treat us like garbage. I wonder, if the shit hit the fan here, how many of these countries would come and send their sons and daughters to fight for us on our land? We would have to do it for ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that people in Ukraine don't deserve help. War is a nasty thing. And I'm not saying that Putin is a good guy. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I don't know much about Putin, or I should say what's going on in his country. In a way, I could understand why he doesn't want Ukraine to be their own country. I mean, just geographically, if you look at things, it's almost as if they're trying to surround Russia. And what really kills me is that Cuba is making deals with China to want to put military bases in Cuba. So look at the scenario. Joe Biden does not step in and tell Cuba to pump the brakes on that deal. So we'll have communist Chinese not too far off our shores, while we take our men and women and send them overseas to fight in a country who the Democrats and leftists say were in cahoots with helping Trump try to cheat and win, and with the Russians at that. People better start waking up. Joe Biden is a snake. This administration, they're run by a den of vipers, and they're going to get a lot of people hurt. And it's not right. And I do understand, like I said, that countries do need help. For whatever reason, Russia and Ukraine can't get along. That's by their own doing. They need to figure it out. They're thousands of miles away. And not saying that Russia is justified in what they're doing. Not saying that Ukraine should bow down or step down. But Zelensky doesn't have a good record. He's a globalist. He's just as bad as the Democratic Party here. He was better off just staying in show business. But I guess if he didn't make it in show business, then he definitely can't make it as a fucking leader in his country, because look at the shit he's got his people into. People better start waking up, and people better start, trying to call up their elected officials and start voicing their opinions Because the last thing we need, the last thing Ukraine needs, or Russia or America, the last thing we need is another big war, especially when it comes to a war between superpowers. This is not like America going out into the desert and fighting off ISIS or the Taliban, and that's brutal as it is. That's barbaric. But the last thing we need is superpowers getting into it, because the powers that be, the evil elite, the wicked ones, you know, that are running this administration, the globalists that want these wars just to collapse societies so they can take over. It's got to stop. People better start speaking up. People better start pointing out and pointing the finger at the ones that are truly trying to destroy countries, to destroy lives and families. You know, Trump was right on a lot of things, and people still mock him and vilify him to this day. He's not a perfect man, but he knew to stay out of certain dealings and certain situations in order to keep the peace. And he did a really good job about it. It's insane the way so many politicians are very quiet about this, and it's very insane how the left and the Democratic Party talk so much about peace and equality and you know, being fair across the board, but yet they're backing up this man for another fucking potential war, having the United States involved in it. Anyway, everybody stay vigilant. Like I said, I'm new to this channel. I'm trying my best. I'm going to try to put up as much info as I can. Comment, like, subscribe, please. I want to keep the algorithm going. I'm not going to try to put out any false narratives. Like I said before, if it's a lie, I'm not going to bother with it. Keep praying. Look out for your family and friends. Remember, put America first. Okay? Because every other country, their citizens are putting their countries first. We have to put our country first. Only through peace will things work out. But having people like Biden and the corrupt powers that be in power, Zelensky and the rest of them, and even Putin for that matter, you know, we'll never have that harmony that everybody says that they want. All we're going to have is just endless wars. And I think since 9/11, I think enough blood has been shed around this whole world, and there's still a lot of blood being shed. We don't need any more. Anyway, keep saying your prayers, pray for each other, and God bless. Peace.